Ever felt that heart-racing, palm-sweating panic at the thought of a social situation? You might be dealing with social anxiety. This is more than just a case of the jitters before a big presentation or a bout of shyness at a party. Social anxiety, also known as social phobia, is a pervasive fear of social interactions where one feels intensely scrutinized or negatively evaluated by others. It's a condition that affects millions of people across the globe, causing them to dread everyday activities like meeting new people, attending social gatherings, or even eating in public. It's like constantly being under a spotlight, with a nagging fear of being judged, embarrassed, or humiliated. It's important to remember, though, that this is not a sign of weakness or a character flaw. Social anxiety is a real complex issue. It can be a daunting challenge, but understanding it is the first step towards managing it. What's happening in our brains when we feel socially anxious? Let's dive into the science. In the intricate labyrinth of our minds, there's a small almond-shaped structure known as the amygdala. Think of it as the brain's personal security guard, always vigilant, always scanning for potential threats to our well-being. In a typical scenario, the amygdala helps us respond to genuine dangers. However, in the case of social anxiety, it's a different story. The amygdala perceives social situations as threats, even when they're not. Imagine walking into a room full of people and your brain automatically sounding the alarm bells. Your heart starts to race, your palms get sweaty, and you might even find it hard to breathe. This heightened state of alert is part of the fear response, and it's this reaction that often leads to avoidance behavior in social settings. So, with social anxiety, your brain perceives social situations as threats, triggering an intense fear response. Hearing others share their experiences can make us feel less alone. Here are some stories from real people who've grappled with social anxiety. Our first story comes from Lisa. She tells us, "I used to dread social events. I'd lay awake the night before, imagining every possible scenario where I might embarrass myself. Parties, meetings, even casual get-togethers felt like a minefield, but then I realized I was letting my anxiety control my life, and I decided to take back the reins. I started by attending small gatherings and gradually worked my way up. It was a challenge, but with time, I've learned to navigate social situations without letting my anxiety get the best of me." Next, we hear from Mark. "For me, social anxiety was like a constant nagging voice in my head telling me I wasn't good enough, that people were judging me. It was exhausting. I found help in meditation and mindfulness. Focusing on my breath, acknowledging my thoughts without judgment, it all helped me quiet that voice. I won't say it's completely gone, but I've learned to manage it." And then there's Sarah. "I've always been a bit of an introvert, but my social anxiety took it to another level. Simple things like ordering food at a restaurant or answering a phone call felt like climbing Mount Everest. I sought help from a therapist, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Therapy gave me tools to cope, like cognitive behavioral techniques and exposure therapy. It's still a journey, but I'm on the right track." Each of these individuals found their own path to managing their social anxiety. Some found strength in confronting their fears, others in mindfulness and meditation, while others sought professional help. Their journeys may differ, but they all share a common thread: resilience. These stories remind us that we're not alone, and there are strategies that can help. What's important is to remember that it's okay to seek help and take steps towards overcoming social anxiety. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but with patience and persistence, it's possible to find what works for you. Overcoming social anxiety isn't easy, but there are tools that can help. Let's explore a few. First up, we've got deep breathing. This is a simple yet powerful tool you can use anywhere, anytime. When you feel anxiety creeping in, take a moment to focus on your breath. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold for 4, then exhale for 4. This practice can calm your nervous system, helping to reduce feelings of stress and anxiety. Next, let's talk about self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves, especially when we're feeling anxious. But remember, everyone has their insecurities and nobody's perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. When you start to feel anxious, remind yourself of this. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a friend. Finally, we come to visualization. This involves picturing yourself successfully navigating social situations. Imagine yourself at a party or a meeting, feeling calm and confident. See yourself engaging in conversation, laughing, and genuinely enjoying the experience. By visualizing success, you can start to change your perception of social situations, helping to reduce anxiety. These tools, deep breathing, self-compassion, and visualization are all techniques you can start using today. But they're not quick fixes. It takes time and practice to see results. So, give yourself permission to take it slow. And remember, if your social anxiety feels overwhelming, it's okay to seek help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate these feelings, and they can provide additional tools and strategies for managing social anxiety. Overcoming social anxiety is a journey, one that's unique to each person. But with patience, practice, and the right tools, you can start to feel more comfortable in social situations. You're not alone in this journey, and there are people and resources out there to help. By incorporating these tools into your routine, you can start to manage your social anxiety and feel more comfortable in social situations. So, that's a deep dive into social anxiety, a condition that affects millions of people. It's more than just feeling nervous in social settings. It's a fear of being judged or embarrassed that can be overwhelming. But remember, our brains are wired this way, and it's not your fault. We've heard from real people who've navigated the challenges of social anxiety, and we've explored practical coping tools like deep breathing, self-compassion, and visualization. Overcoming social anxiety isn't a sprint but a marathon that requires time, patience, and effort. And most importantly, know that it's perfectly okay to ask for help. Therapists, counselors, and support groups are there to help you manage and overcome this condition. You're not alone in this journey. Remember, it's okay to seek help. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for joining us.